Good evening to everyone gathered here this evening, and good morning, good afternoon to those joining us online from around the world. It is our great pleasure to host a special talk by Dr. Issac Mathai, and on behalf of Ritinjali, I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to SOUKYA and the India International Center for making this gathering possible. Before we begin, I would like to invite Mr. Arun Kapoor, Chairman of Ritinjali, to share a few words with us. Mr. Kapoor.
Good evening. It's wonderful to see a full hall, and we got people standing. Here, so people have made a lot of effort to come here. We also, as you saw, have over many people on Zoom, actually from different parts of the world. Because you don't want to hear me, Parmesh. Can you hear me now? Okay, great. So the thing is that introducing Dr. Issac Mathai is, on one hand, very, very easy. Just say Dr. Issac Mathai, savior, guide, philosopher for a large number of people, including me. And on the other hand, it's very difficult because, what do you add, what do you leave out? He understands homeopathy, he understands Ayurveda, he understands medicines, he understands humans, human psyche. He does a lot of counseling along with the medication. He runs SOUKYA in Bangalore. And I have to start off by telling you my own experience. I'm a history teacher from Bihar, right? That's who I am. And I've been a history teacher from Bihar for a long, long time. Many years ago, when the Wi-Fi came along and, all these online kind of things started happening, like everybody else I know, we set up an online learning program, and I sat behind a computer from about 7:30 in the morning till about 11 o'clock at night, just doing this rubbish. And I got a problem with my neck, and I got spondylosis, whatever. There are so many different words for this. I saw many doctors here in Delhi, AIIMS, and they said after a while, surgery is your only answer. So I said, if surgery is the only answer, then let's get on with it and do the surgery. And that's when somebody told me that there's this guy in Bangalore who's opened this place called SOUKYA, and you have to go. So I called him up, and he listened to what I had to say, and he said, listen, we can try and help you, but you have to come here for at least 3 weeks. This is not a thing that you can come for a day and take some medicines and go. If you're willing to come for 3 weeks, then we can give it a try. And at that time, I used to wear a collar, those things with those steel ramps like this. So that is what I used to wear for a long time. Flew off to Bangalore, painful flight, arrived, and the old Bangalore, this is many, many years ago, drove to Whitefield where the SOUKYA is. Cutting a long story short, that I was there. Within the first 5-6 days, this collar I was not wearing all the time. Within 7-8 days, the collar was gone. And this is many years ago. You had just opened at that point in time. So I came back, and I went back to all my the doctors that I had seen here in Delhi before going to SOUKYA, and they were quite shocked and surprised at what he had done. So that's my own personal kind of journey at SOUKYA. And a large part of the cure and the is just the place that he runs, not just the physical space of green. And the only thing is that they feed you whatever they grow on the farm. So there's no mutton, chicken fry, and those kind of, unfortunately, for people like me, the only vegetable that I used to eat before that was what was cooked with the meat, like ginger and garlic and onions and those kind of. But I have learnt to enjoy vegetarian food. So that's my own personal journey. I've since then been back many times to SOUKYA, just to kind of a rejuvenative situation. My mother used to go there. My 5 sisters used to go there. And we have been there quite often. My daughter who's here, we've also been like a time. And it's really and I'm saying this with reviving your spirit. It's not just your body and not just your mind, it's your spirit that gets revived. So having said that, I won't stand between you and Dr. Issac Mathai. And in this place, so we have had some questions before from the people who have registered. We've shared those with the doc. He will try and get those. So after his conversation with us, there will be time for us to ask, for you to also ask some questions. So we'll take some questions from people who are here in the audience and some from people who are online. So hello to all the people who are online wherever you are. Welcome all of you. And please remember that there is a tea after this where you can again have a conversation with the doctor over tea after the questions. So all of you. So I am going to ask the doctor to tell us a little bit more about himself as to who he is, rather than trying to introduce his professional work. It'll never work. He will be much better at doing this. So over to you, Doc, friend, philosopher, guide.
Thank you. Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. And because he is like a mentor. You said I'm a philosopher. I learn all philosophy from him. The time he come and spend time in SOUKYA, we get a lot of time to talk and interact and give me education, and that is his field, and educate me better. So it is always wonderful to have Arun with us. And then the one telephone call, he said, I can organize this over here. And he did that. Thank you so much and organizing this. Honorable Mr. Karthikeyan, he's a mentor. He was with me when we opened SOUKYA 23 years ago. And Varun Rajamani, he was always and Mrs. Rajamani. And Rajiv, I know you had been to SOUKYA. Many of familiar faces, you had been to SOUKYA. Anyway, this is not a SOUKYA selling evening. I want to make clear. We are full, we are busy, we are expanding, we have enough to do. Because my passion is holistic healing and holistic health for the last 40 years. So born in a small village, today it is a municipality in Wayanad. Now today you know Wayanad because of Rahul Gandhi and all these people coming over there and visiting. This is one of the most beautiful, you have never visited one of the most beautiful place in planet Earth, not because I born there, because it's a beautiful place. So growing there with my mother, she was a homeopathic doctor, and my father was a priest in the Indian Orthodox Church, and he is very dynamic in so many ways. I now know that I got the spirituality from my father and the healing from my mother. So I grown up in that environment. My entire aim is to continue her practice. That is easy way out, because she has a very packed practice all the time at home. It's very comfortable. But in my last years in medical college, I got introduced into meditation at the age of 23. And I started to practice meditation. I introduced that to my classmates and other people. And none of them continued after a month. But I continued. And I got the benefit. Nowadays, all my friends say that how you made success in your life. That's the only reason is meditation. Still, I teach them, they don't want to practice. So it has to be practiced. And I last even today morning or always, wherever you go, that's an easy thing to practice. Recently, Mr. Karthikeyan invited me for a speech at the Global Meditation Conference. So with that meditation, we had a small plantation in Nilgiris that's very close to my hometown, that's in the near Ooty and the mountains. So when I go to the top of the tea plantation, I always get a sense that this is a kind of place you should put a retreat for patients to come and spend time and meditate and be with the nature and to heal. So the healing, the element of healing, multiple element of healing, maybe through meditation, through interaction, through maybe reading some of the science of yoga books, all that. I got into that, and then later for higher studies I went to London and worked in one of the famous clinic over there, where I got introduced into how to incorporate. Actually, I was teaching there before qualified to be a doctor there, teaching yoga to some of the famous people whom I didn't know that they are famous, like George Harrison of Beatles. I never heard about him before. Even after meeting him, after a month only, I came to know that he's a famous person like that. And Tina Turner, so many people. So that made me at such a young age, because of the patients in that clinic from US and other places, to invite me to go to US and see patients in that time. And with that, and going and studying Chinese pulse diagnosis in China in 1987, I realized that this is a vast areas of different systems of medicine, and also felt that central London near Marble Arch, even if you teach them meditation, the person come out of it within 5 minutes, all the effect will go away. So I felt that more and more that there should be a place of residential place where people should come and stay, and the involvement of holistic movement with the British Holistic Medical Association. It's all divine intervention. I could organize a conference in 1989 in Bangalore, where before getting permission from His Holiness Dalai Lama, I put a mark that subject to confirmation. And I sent several letters to His Holiness's office, and they always replied, say that no, it's not possible for His Holiness because of this program, he won't come. But ultimately, with God's grace, His Holiness came and spent 4 days, exactly with us, the entire conference. Today, it won't be impossible to get His Holiness for 5 hours. Spent time with us, and I brought all the spiritual leaders, Swami Satchidananda, His Holiness, Bishop Gregorios, and the top people in the medical world. Dr. Andrew Weil from US is very famous. After that, even that time he was quite famous. A lot of such people, those who are believing, one is a holistic philosophy, second is how to incorporate different methodology of systems of medicine and methodology which can enhance the healing power, so that a healing sanctuary idea came up. So based in London that time, but worked in Bangalore for a long time, organized the conference. I felt that is a calling that Bangalore is an ideal place to establish a center, because of my existing patients in US and Europe. That's about 30 nationalities in that time. So it took another 10 years to get the land and everything to establish SOUKYA as a model for holistic health and healing. When you talk about only SOUKYA, people misunderstand that I'm doing this only for rich and famous people from around the world, and then very expensive on that. That's true. But we have a 96, we started our first charitable clinic, which was taking care of patients free of charge from the different parts of Bangalore. Now we are looking after 150,000 population in 150 villages near SOUKYA, in the villages in a range of about 60 kilometers. And everyday patients are coming for Homoeopathy, Ayurveda, Naturopathy, yoga. And also it is not about giving treatment for diseases. It is all the concept of how to improve the health and well-being. So our doctors go to the villages and educate them, provide them health talks and healthy eating habits. We are very proudly say that my wife, she's a PhD in nutrition. She put a idea that instant noodles, what is the famous noodle which is chemical oriented? Maggi noodles. Instead of Maggi noodles, better to have eating ragi balls, which is the stable diet of Karnataka. So like that, we can educate people. Even uneducated villages understand when we explain to them what is the benefit of that. So nutrition is another area. Like that, SOUKYA is gone, and then we have a mass model, means everybody can come and do treatment called Sahaya. We are making a 100-bed hospital, which anybody can benefit with that facility. That will be coming up within 6 months' time. We were running till COVID, and after that we closed during COVID time. But again, we'll do it. So when you talk about this, it is not about going to a center and do treatment. Even today morning, first time I'm walking through the Lodi Gardens and sitting there and doing a little bit of breathing. I sit in the heart of Delhi, in a most exclusive location. You can have your own space, your own healing space around you, and do your breathing, do your meditation. I could see a lot of people are doing yoga and going for walking and everything. So it is a day-to-day life that makes the difference. It is not about, yes, when you have a problem, health issue, anything, you should do it. But we thought that itself, the day to day, if you do the correction, it's not a difficult thing. It's not like we are converting people into vegetarianism or stopping this, stopping that. You can have a good life which can make more better life and quality life and enjoy that and prevent diseases much before it developed into a difficult situation where you have to go and meet to the doctors and do a lot of procedures and everything. It's a day-to-day life. And when I go around the world and see people, I feel sad that we Indians, with all the yogic knowledge, all the meditation, Vedanta, everything, we are the lazy people to practice all that. We are too much of free time, but too busy to do anything. So even including the diet and everything. So that way now things are changing, like the World Yoga Day. People are very active, and vegetarianism or better eating habits, and all the things which I will talk in a minute. Talked about in the beginning about health and well-being. Health and the elements of health. Element of health. Now it is more and more relevant. Just 2 days ago, newspaper in Bangalore talking about a location called Hassan in a small geographical area. So many youngsters at the age of 35 to 45 is getting heart attacks and dying. So the health minister talking, chief minister said that it's because of COVID. Then the entire medical fraternity said, no, it is nothing to do with the COVID. It is to do with something else. Then he said it may be environment, then you cannot say that is environment. Finally, a sort of thought is that it is some chemicals or fertilizers or chemical pesticides in the agricultural farm. That's very unlikely in my opinion. So what is the impact? Okay, 30 years ago when I talk about environmental pollution or what you're eating is causing health issues, people laugh and say that, even doctors laugh. Yeah, no, it does not affect on you. But today more and more evidence coming up that what you eat, what you drink, what you think, what you feel, all that has own effect on your short-term health, long-term health, and major medical conditions. So even more than 30 years ago, World Health Organization talk about health is a state of mental, physical well-being and sociological. But holistic health has a much bigger meaning, saying that it is a harmonious state of, first of all, the harmonious state of mind, body, spirit. About spirit things, about the first 10-15 years, it was difficult. I could talk about spirit little bit on the concept of yoga and all that. But nowadays, after seeing patients serious, complex medical condition for 40 years, I could give hundreds of examples, unbelievable example of how your spirit is getting affected by what happened in your life. Not necessarily last 2 years or 20 years. I have cases where somebody 64 years ago, something happened in the person was in the womb, have an impact continuously, and the person is suffering for 64 years. And we have to spend time to understand that and clear that out by methodology of treatments. So the spirit aspect is very, very important. That's a one common question everybody asks. What do you mean by spirit? And the physiological is very easy. Everybody knows, every doctors know, every blood test will show you physiological. But the psychological nowadays more and more. But the danger in India now is, recently I read an article also, not only the psychological trained people, every other person became the counselor. And everybody, recently I saw somebody who was working with me as an office staff, suddenly became a psychotherapist with a 3 months training. And the fees is 4,000 rupees an hour. And people are lined up to see them because they don't know. And because people wanted somebody to listen to you and understand you, give you some suggestions and things like that. So psychological intervention and sociological issue, whether you're spending time, that's again and again, more and more studies. Last 2 weeks ago, I spent a time with the international conference where we were organizing in London. The man Dan who invented the blue zone, and we were interacting privately. So he said that wherever he went and saw the blue zone, everywhere the cultural social interaction is one of the biggest healing tool. Like whether it's in Sardinia, people in the evening do nothing else, sit around and talk and gossip little bit and talk about this and that. That sociological effect, yes, club and other places can help us, or India is very good at that. So the sociological aspect, that is isolation from the students, today's children to adult, dealing only with your mobile phones or a WhatsApp and messages alone. Instead of that, going more sociological interaction also will help a lot. Environment, I mentioned that everything from the water you drink, and recently even the rivers are full of antibiotics and chemicals. We know that this type of things, and the meat you eat have antibiotics and pesticides and other things. How we are going to improve our health and well-being by preventing all these things. So the nutritional, emotional, and spiritual aspects are equally important. So I want to briefly go through this aspect of what we understood from the healing aspects, that the three different aspects. One is the healing of the body. Healing of the body is easy because it's visible. It is, you feel it, or you can easily go to a doctor, can identify, and which is very, very easy to understand, easy to correct, easy to change, easy to heal. But when you come to the healing of the mind, because always it's interconnected, because I have never seen a chronic disease condition, whether it's a back pain or neck pain or a chronic fatigue syndrome or IBS, whatever it is, without a mental element in it. Mental element doesn't mean that you should have a mental disease or exact mental problem. It is your sensibilities, your emotions, and your feelings, everything have an effect on your physical disease. And majority of the psychosomatic disease, which I mentioned, IBS and chronic fatigue syndrome, everything, with the pain and all the problem before that, behind that, there is always a deeper mental element. Because the problem is how to connect with that, with a disease. That's the job of a good doctor, to analyze them and see the connection. And I have always, recently I have a person came from US with a motor neuron disease, which is not curable. And the doctor said within 3 to 5 years time, he'll be fully bedridden and he may die anytime. So when they contact me, I said that I cannot say we can cure it. No, we don't cure it, but we can maintain you maybe for another 20 years, I don't know. But I need to know you, not the disease and the diagnosis. The person came, yes, normal consultation is needed only for 1 hour, but we spent up to 4 hours in the first day itself. And I started to make him understand that much before you develop this disease, what happened to your life is more important than the diagnosis of the disease. So he started to talk about just before the disease. Then we talked the next day a little bit about, so later the 54-year-old person is telling me that, so now we understand that what you want from me. Then I start to think about what happened in my life. So he got admission in MIT in US at the age of 22. Then what happened there onwards? There's a lot of setback, lot of insult, lot of disappointments. Such a person highly, and he is a inventor, and the things we invented and could patent, the company throw him out. So how much of humiliation in front of the society, in front of his family, in front of everything. All these things, when he started to explain, he himself realized that how much of trauma he went through all these years of 22, 50, and this 54, he developed this non-curable chronic disease, which is making him not to talk, difficult to walk, and he can raise his one hand. But interestingly, by 3 weeks of treatment, it's not the treatment, his own realization of what happened, he started to resolve it. I gave him some tools to do that he started to talk better, he started to walk better. So our aim is that in 2 years' time, you should be, first you stabilize him, and next is to reverse if possible, or at least stabilize him and maintain him, if God willing, another 10 or 20 years. So many other neurological and other conditions, if fibrosis or lungs and things are there, we have done it. That's a confidence that I tell them. So like this fully bedridden patient from UK, the top consultants met them. Every doctor, best experts met the patient. And the patient is, because everybody is looking at the fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, this pain, that pain, person cannot get up, the joint issues, steroids, medicine, everything. Nobody is talking about what had exactly happened in their life. So my job is mainly to spend time to understand what happened in their life. So when it happened in life, physical body easy, all the blood reports, everything is there. But then when you talk about the mind and subconscious mind and the spirit, what are the things affected your spirit in a deeper level? Majority of the cases, even the person doesn't know what happened actually and how that affected. That is our role, is to reflect on them and make them understand and change. And in every human, from a baby onwards, our system is trying to be in balance all the time, constantly in an effect of balancing. So that's why even if you're exposed to a change of temperature, somebody sneeze, somebody cover themselves. So we try to protect by our own or our internal system. So when the balance go to imbalance continuously over a period of time by eating or drinking, smoking, toxic environment, psychological issues, stress from the work or anything like that, that imbalance over a period of time create ill health. Majority of the people started to feel something when they are ill health. That's the time it won't be possible to even diagnose a condition. A person may feel very tired or lack of sleep, different temperaments, ache and pains, this and that. Even if you go to the best doctor, they won't be able to do much. So that is the ill health stage. But majority of the people, when they get into disease stage, only they'll go to a doctor. That is, I would say that is the last stage of a process. So actually, if you give attention to yourself, the changes happen in your system. By imbalance itself, you'll know what's going on. And you can do the correction in that time, and you can settle it either by changing your lifestyle. That's why majority of our chronic diseases today, whether diabetes or blood pressure or anything like that, which is connected with the imbalances and our lifestyle. So if you correct that, that itself is a major thing to reverse diseases. And so what are the major things in my understanding is the lifestyle we talked about is stress. Everybody has stress. Then what to do about this stress? That's another aspect. Maybe time permits, we can discuss. Then the working environment. There's a lot of situation, especially now the world of IT and too much of competition, all this. The working environment are causing a lot of stress. The highly performing people are major issue because of they have to perform better, or there's too much of competition in the environment which the person is very successful cannot share that with anybody else. And if you go to a psychologist even or psychiatrist or another, the company will give them sort of non-acceptable approach towards them. So these are all the very complex situations which people are facing through, especially city like Bangalore with a lot of IT people. Everybody is in a rush to have more success and more things to do. And sleep is one major thing. A lot of people ignore it. And this is one area where in the early stage itself we can correct it into proper practices, not by an easy way of sleeping pills. I know a person who has a stress issues. He has a neurological disease after 20 years. And he came to me, and when I looked at it, he met already 3 neurologists. But nobody checked with him what was the medicines he was taking for the last 20 years. Main thing was sleeping pills. So I asked him why. So he said, I was working abroad, and under a particular situation, doctor gave me sleeping pills. I started to sleep. Then I said, why didn't you stop it? He said, nobody asked me to stop it. So I'm continuing. So I asked him straight away, stop that. Then I said that. Again, his other medication he's taking, I said, I want another neurologist to look at it and say whether you really need all these medicines before we start the treatment. Then we can improve your condition. That early stage of Parkinson's, we could completely settle it with 3 weeks of treatment. Then actually, after a year, he came and met with me. He's perfectly fine. It is not only the psychological issue which started 20 years ago, maybe some stress or something with the sleeping pills. His other issues also we resolved along with that. So we cannot treat and cure or treat and correct a person only by physical level. We have to do with their mind, psychology. His personal issue also. His 2 daughters are not married. So he was worried, but he cannot share that with nobody. Because he said that if I talk to my wife, she'll get more stressed and upset, so I cannot do it. So finally he sat and discussed with me, and we discussed a lot about what can be done about all the aspects and change his attitude about life by the time he was retired. So how to change and rest of his life for another 20 or 30 years to be in a much better shape. And I was very happy to see him after a year that he's much better, and he has a very attitude approach, and his condition, his Parkinson's symptoms, everything gone, and he stopped all the other medication. So sleep is one major area where I could say that instead of jumping into sleeping pills or other methodology, by natural way itself, we can improve sleep. And sleep is not sleep. It is a complete repair process happening in our system, in the mind, body and the spirit during sleep. So sleep is very, very important. Lack of rest as it is, and exercise, lack of exercise, and posture, poor interpersonal relationship, that's again the psychological things like that. So when the healing of healing of an individual, we are talking about the many aspects of the accepting. Majority of the case, first is the person, or I don't want to call everybody patient. A person himself doesn't know what is the problem. That itself needs sometimes a help of a psychologist, or somebody look at them and see that whether it's the eating habits is not right. That day-to-day dinacharya, that's an Ayurveda, that's a very important aspect. The day-to-day routine, is that correct? And what are the things they have to do to improve the functionality of the system? Yes, based on the body constitution is very, very different. And the person wanted to change. Sometimes it takes about 4 to 5 days for a person to accept that I have a problem, not a physical problem. I have much more deeper issues which I am facing, and I need help to clear this, and I'm willing to change that. That willingness is very important. Recently, a 36-year-old lady from UK, I met her in London, and I said, come over. But she's very impatient that she's putting a new factory, this and that. Impatient that she doesn't have time to discuss about issue. I said, it takes 3 days for you to open up and start to talk about your real issues in life, not about your disease and your symptoms. That's easy to deal with. So it takes time for them. Then the person said, I never told anybody about this. I said, that's what I'm asking you. Then the person slowly opened up, and her, sometimes it is a simple complexes and inadequacy and feeling that I am not successful, or feeling that my business is not going to be okay. So there's a lot of anxieties, worries, fear, all sort of things can happen behind. That person will not even share to their parents or friends or nobody, or even this person was with a psychologist for a long time. She said, no, I was not comfortable. Then we had to provoke and make them to talk. So, and also this example, this girl, this is very common. So when I asked her that you have to walk around and you have to start some self-dialogue, I'm going to talk about it a little later. So she said, no, I don't believe in it. I said, whether you believe or not, I'm telling you that if you do that, you will have some positive effect. No. So I'm an intellectual. How can I believe in self-dialogue? So what can I do? I'm educated. I'm so and so. So make them to understand gradually. Ask them to do that experience. Even the breathing, the person is not even breathing. I said that you to do breathing. She said, I tried this before. I said, I don't know what you tried. You try again, and we'll teach you this way. And you can improve. Then once you start to breathe, things will start to change. Simple practices can make huge changes. And again, continuation. Yes, people can come and we train them, we go back. They practice that themselves. It's not difficult to practice. Sometimes people forget after a while, you lose that interest, and then they are feeling much better, they leave it. And then again, ask them to redo this. Sometimes you need a little bit extra support. So the body is easy. People, we can do body cleansing and body healing is much more easier. You can identify, you can do things to release the accumulation of toxins. Is more and more. The Western medicine never understood the meaning of toxins in the system. Ayurveda is all fully focused on naturopathy. Ayurveda is all focused on the toxins in the system, and how the toxins are accumulated toxins produce diseases on and long over a period of time. And there are beautiful treatment protocols with Ayurveda and naturopathy. We can clear the toxins. And our environment, whatever the carpet cleaner you are using and detergent you are using, and what is the impact of that, and the food and the pesticide in the food, and drinking water, to so many things. We are aware about this and make changes. That's a day-to-day basis that will make a change, rather than when you get a cancer going around and say that, oh, it's all because of the toxicity happened by my living environment or whatever. So the focus on the exercises as well as rest, and what I am mentioning earlier, diet, minor changes in the diet, not necessary to go around having new diet formulas. I will always say that if you have a question later, I can say better to go back to your traditional eating pattern with the healthy ingredients and healthy food, rather than try to make eating food as a religion. Some people behave like that. And also the abuse and how to correct that abuses, that's why the physical body. And the mind is easy, very easy to balance the mind by doing of the beauty of the breathing. And breathing is one of the biggest thing, can change everything. And a lot of people, it is not breathing. Their system is so tight that even if they try to do yoga, everything, it is not going to open up. So they meant to do things to correct their postures or neck and back and everything. Then you do breathing. So amazing changes happen. A lot of psychological, emotional issues, sleep issues. We help them by teaching the breathing techniques step by step. And when they do that properly, everything starts to change. And in the yogic theory, when you say pranayama, it is not breathing. It's a much deeper meaning of the effect on the prana. So it's an amazing tool when you learn and practice every day. You don't need to do for 1 hour or 2 hours. Even if you start with 3 minutes of breathing every day, you will end up doing 30 minutes naturally. So that way, and the mindful activities. Mindfulness is a very other area where Buddhism and Hinduism, all the religions, even Christianity also talk about that. So lot of the religious practices are not to go to nirvana and go to heaven. It is to have your life in a better shape in this planet Earth. So, but whether you practice that is the impact. And the emotions. There is nobody without emotion, nobody without up and down on emotion, issues like that. But how to balance it? For that, definitely interactions and good relationship and communication, everything along with the spiritual practices will always help. And the spirit, effect on the spirit, how do you do it? And nowadays, I give people a prescription as a prayer. And some of the Hindus, I practice the Gayatri Mantra. I learn about it and I practice it. So some of the good Hindus go to temple almost every week and things. I said, do you practice Gayatri Mantra or any mantra? No. I go to prayer and all that. I said, no, start this. So I give prescription 7 times of Gayatri Mantra in this round. Go and do it. And come back, the chant, tell me the change. I said, you do Gayatri Mantra with a meaning. Whether it's any prayer, whether Lord's Prayer or any prayer, without meaning, it's only a repetition of words. But with the meaning, it transforms you with that vibration. So the prayer, benefit of prayer. And recently, Islamic lady, important person, staying with me at the moment. She's staying with me. She has some issues and all that. So I said, I go to my chapel. I do my prayer in the evening. I'll put your matter in my prayer. So she said, can I do that? I said, of course, yes. So one evening, 8 o'clock, I'm sitting in my meditation. After that, I'm in we have a chapel in SOUKYA. I'm sitting there and I finish my prayer, a small sound. So she's coming. She said, can I join with you? I said, no, you do your prayer. Don't join with me. So you do a prayer, then you come to me, then we'll sit together. So actually what happened is she did a prayer and I waited. And she came back and we inside the chapel, we had a little chat about, it is not about Christian prayer or Hindu prayer. Yeah, she's Islamic. I said, it's a prayer. You seek the spirit intervention for your healing of your mind, body and spirit. And now, the last even, yesterday also before leaving, she said, no, I am going to do that every day. It's not necessary that you should go to a chapel or a temple or a mosque to do that. You can do it in your own backyard. You can do it in a garden. You can do it under the tree. But the power of prayer, which I attended the mind-body medical program in US, in Harvard, and then I attended in that time several research studies that the power of prayer, not only prayer for you, even prayer for others, how much of it can heal even other people. So the power of prayer is one of my major prescription, but sometimes it will take time for people to understand, experience, do it, and especially chronic diseases. Normally, situation people may not see that much, and sometimes those who are praying too much is a problem because they are praying for the wrong purpose. Because they are praying towards somebody else to do something wrong to that person. So you cannot pray for your enemies. Sometimes it will happen to you. So be very careful when you pray too much for others in a negative way. But when you do it in a positive way, you will have a positive effect in your own spirit and healing in that way, healing and balancing your system. And the silence, that is another thing is today's world is very difficult. So that is also, I give a prescription for them that go under a tree or somewhere. And also when you go for a walk, it's not the walk, it is the mindfulness of what you're doing. So on the way you see a bird, wait and watch and connect with that bird, a tree, a smell. Every aspect of life has to be experienced. And the self-dialogue, and lot of people need time and space. In my experience, it will take 3 to 4 days for them to reflect on themselves. Suddenly it won't happen, it will take its own time. And the holistic integrative world, the integrative medicine is integration of different systems of medicine. As I am coming from the Ayush background, integration of Western medicine with any systems of medicine, integration of Western medicine with the yoga, integration of Ayurveda with the yoga, integration of yoga with Unani, Homeopathy, Ayurveda. I feel that yoga is a common factor for every system of medicine can work with. Others depends on the situation, depends on the nature of the system of medicine, they can do that. Ayurveda is our ancient knowledge, ancient wealth. I would say India's living heritage is Ayurveda. And that Ayurveda goes back to thousands of years. And also the concept of Ayurveda with the Vata, Pitta, Kapha. I'm going little bit on that in few minutes. And what are the methodology used? It's not about treatment alone. The philosophy of Ayurveda, the dinacharya, the daily routine, even in that time, how to wash your mouth, how to clean your mouth, how to clean your, what are the things you do with your eyes, your nose. When you do that on a regular basis, what season, what food to eat, based on your body constitution. When you look at the Vata, Pitta, Kapha constitution, somebody with the Pitta constitution, which is a lot of fire, you do too much of spicy food, their Pitta will get aggravated. And then your nature will get corrected. Even I know husband get agitated all the time in the office and all that. He's a strong Pitta. So I told the wife to change the diet, reducing all the spices for him. She can take it because she's a Kapha, she need all that. But husband, by doing only that, his entire agitation, everything reduce, and his acidity reduce. So it is not only about disease, it is about the nature. It's also connected with what you eat. And Ayurveda is very effective for a lot of chronic diseases, arthritis to neurological disorders, and so many chronic diseases. And when you look at one of the common things, several people ask me about these questions in advance came as Panchakarma. What is Panchakarma? Because that's a very commonly used word, Panchakarma. Actually, the Panchakarma is a 5 purification treatment. To do a proper Panchakarma, because a lot of Ayurveda places do Panchakarma for 3 days and 5 days, that's Ayurvedic treatment. But when you say it is a Panchakarma, to do that you need minimum 21 days. Less than that, it can be good Ayurvedic program, good Ayurveda treatment, even you can do Ayurveda for a day. But to do a proper Panchakarma, you need 21 days in a regimented way, and also to get the maximum benefit of that, you need another 3 weeks. That means you do a treatment, then after that you do a certain, not sit in the hospital or a health center or a home, do a certain behavioral modification for another 3 weeks, then only you get the maximum benefit of the Panchakarma. And again, it is effective not only rejuvenation and anti-aging effect, that's a common effect, but large number of chronic diseases, Panchakarma treatments are super effective in reversing, and we are doing some research work on not only Panchakarma, many treatments, but how much it can change even in your aging process. And how even the molecules in the DNA can be changed and reversed by even 2 weeks of treatment. Then you imagine that 3 weeks of Panchakarma, how much you'll do. But what we do is always combination of what was appropriate for the patient. And this is a very common picture. Everybody see it and everybody use it. Shirodhara. It is not about pouring oil. I see America, they do Ayurvedic Shirodhara with the sesame oil. It is as good as putting injection with distilled water. It's an injection, but no benefit. So you have to be done properly and based on your nature, based on your constitution. That need a good doctor to diagnose you, not the disease, and diagnose what oil. There are hundreds of different combinations with hundreds of different herbs as used based on your body constitution. So if I can use a particular medicated oil, which we can pacify your fire element, And if you wrongly use that, it can be the other way effect. Then you won't know, because the effect will come only after 1 month or 2 months, real effect. So the correct medicated oil, it is as good as prescription of a specialist, and to use it properly in a certain number of days. Some people come for wellness program with us, and they had been to some spa or somewhere. They sell it 1 hour Shirodhara, and this person fight with us, say that we do only 20 minutes. They fight, and why you are doing only 20 minutes? I will pay you. Give me for 1 hour. He said, this is not a relaxation, joyful ride or something. It is a proper treatment. We cannot do it. Or we cannot just do one session and send you away. So educating and doing, because it's a very powerful, a lot of conditions we use it because it will change your neurochemicals. It can change your thinking process and sharpen your brain. I know somebody who all of you know, and somebody from Delhi, after 2-3 visits, he made a $2 billion decision. And I said, that is because of the Panchakarma effect or Dara effect. But he didn't give me 2%. I asked him, can you give me 2% of that? He didn't give me that. So the other kind of treatment, which is not very common, these are a very powerful treatment. I do that every year, 3 weeks of Panchakarma. I do the spiritual. It is unbelievable effect on, it's not only a physical body, it is your psyche, your mind, your intellectual, everywhere. But you need to spend that time to undergo. Yes, a lot of medical conditions do it, but a lot of cases to improve your health and well-being, you can do that, but in a regimented way. You cannot do it in a rush or something. But the entire body is soaked with hundreds of herbs, and it will melt in your system. And to do that, you need about 2 weeks of preparation. So you cannot simply go and do this type of special treatment. You have to do preparing. So these are all very powerful treatment, will change. It's not only specific diseases, it is to enhance your health and well-being. And different kind of kiris, the fresh herbal pouch and things like that. So one of our kiris is a very Kerala tradition with the kiri on the neck. Is any neck conditions, majority of people without spondylitis or anything, they have an issue with the neck nowadays, mainly because of the usage of mobile phones and your computers and all that. So along with the opening up the neck and back, then do the breathing, then do the yoga exercises, that is to maintain your system in a long-term benefit. So there are different kind of other treatment. I don't want to time limitation, I won't go through that. And what are the treatments? The basic Ayurvedic treatments, there is 21 days Panchakarma. Then you can do 15 days anti-aging, different methodology, different days. Yes, you can do a 3-day Ayurveda, 5-day Ayurveda. That is a general treatment, but when you do it, you have to do it in an appropriate way. I would just mention about the doshas because of time limitation. We all heard about Vata, Pitta, Kapha. It's very easy to understand in a very simple manners, but an experienced doctor with experience understand the body, the person's nature. We could not only assess their Vata, Pitta, Kapha or their body constitution 7 to 10 years in advance, this which I can say very clearly. We can pre-diagnose which direction a person is going. I cannot say, or we cannot say that you'll get this particular disease like Parkinsonism, this and that, but we can easily identify whether the person is going through a metabolic disorder towards that, or a neurological disorder, or a musculoskeletal disorder, based on that, without any symptom from the patient, by just assessing the person. And you can do things, which I am talking about somebody above 50 years old. We cannot do that with 30, very difficult. 50 years old. Why? Because once you assess the body constitution with the Vata, Pitta, Kapha concept, body nature, and do some signs and symptoms, we can really see that where they are going by asking the normal functionality of the system, not a disease symptoms. Normal functionality from bowel movements to their urination to their accumulation and how they feel, sleep to performance, everything. When you ask all that, we can easily figure out. So when you look at that, for example, a Vata person, his mind is, his fear in an abnormal state, that is a beauty. In a normal state, what they are. And when they're in an imbalanced state, this is what I'm talking about, imbalanced ill health. Imbalanced state, what are the symptoms they get into? And where a disease state, it will be much aggravated state. And when you see that, every aspect, because today's world with the Western medical methodology, you see different parts of the body with the different diseases are different thing. But when you assess, we can see all that represent the same thing. a irritating mind to sneezing, to skin irritation, to acidity, to intestinal, this is the same patient does all this, with piles, it's the same. It's not 5 different diseases. 5 different doctors cannot cure this. But if you do one methodology of treatment for that, everything will settle down. But you have to give time, because something developed in 20 years cannot go in 2 weeks' time. So it will take time to recorrect, and some of it is not correctable because it's too late, then we have to manage them. So the Vata Pitta Kapha concept is an amazing concept, but that required years of experience and knowledge to diagnose and understand and give methodologies. Simple understanding about a person to do correction, like I remember somebody with somebody with the doshas, different type of doshas are what are the food. For example, salad on Vata. I have a New Yorker. New York, you get the best salad. And he's a health freak. And he eat only salads, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And when we realize that he shouldn't have too much of salad, a basic salad is even once a day is enough. His entire intestinal metabolic issue is because of eating too much of salad. Otherwise, we look at the salad, we say, oh God, what a healthy man. Why is he eating? Because he is getting more and more shrink, and he is developing neurological diseases. So the best of the doctors looked at it, and when we understood this, we said, no, you shouldn't have this much of salad. And he said, what nonsense you are talking, because salad is the best thing to eat. So correct that. So it's not necessary that something good is not good for everyone. It can be from person to person, it can change. Like that spicy food, hot spicy food, it is a very simple sign, but there are large amount of information. Again, it is all based on your body nature, your condition, your history, so many factors like that. And I mentioned about the naturopathic treatment. There's a lot of water therapies, hydrotherapies, mud therapies, everything is very beneficial for many conditions, or improve the health or detoxification. And yoga and meditation, I don't explain that. Our focus is mainly on therapeutic yoga. So our doctors teach yoga so that they can experience the benefit for each medical conditions. So our doctors especially look at which are the yoga. I have some of the European yoga teachers, they are doing yoga for last 20 years. They are teaching yoga for last 20 years. But when we check their yoga is wrong. So we correct them and say that this is not the way. You are teaching in the wrong way to your students, but your own system is also, it's not appropriate to do certain things in a certain way. So that is the advantage of therapeutic yoga. A doctor is teaching them or explain to them how to do it. Homeopathic system of medicine is from Germany, but India is very popular. So many conditions, psychosomatic and other conditions, no side effects, is very beneficial thing. And then there is a large number of auricular therapy to acupuncture to hydrotherapies, magnetotherapy. So many things can help the healing process, like diet and nutrition, all these aspects. So this is also very important. And we have done some research on the effect of the treatment. And the first research find out that the inflammatory markers are coming down. That means your system is in a more of a high level of healing, not disease or non-disease conditions. And also your immune system is responding better. And now presently, with the help of a patient of ours, that we are doing a research with our 15 days of treatment before and after taking the blood, sent it to St. John's Medical College Research Center. And we are measuring the changes in the DNA molecules. So we need 100 patients. We have finished 68 patients, and this final result will come later. But at the moment, the scientists also are looking at the parameters of the molecules. There's a specific molecules on the DNA, because what you see, the people's aging process can be reversed or not. How changes? See, they said it's unbelievable that all your patients having a very super positive effect in the blood reports, this type of reports, not the normal blood reports. So we are extending that research for, even they said, don't keep only 50 and above that you do for research, but do it even above 18 years old. Let's see the changes in the DNA molecules. So that we believe that with this research, when you go to the next level, whether we can extend by measuring the telomeres, which will show your lifespan, we can extend your lifespan, because according to Ayurveda, if a person do treatment every year, beyond 3 years, it will extend your lifespan. So So ancient knowledge, understanding, we can prove it scientifically in the present scientific world. So there are a lot of, I don't want to go too much on the impacts or all range of conditions from, recently the 18-year-old lady in wheelchair, she cannot even move. She has, that stage she flew all the way from Washington to SOUKYA and stayed for more than a month. And 2 weeks time person started to walk around. Now she's 92, she's coming every year. And she's doing travel around the world, a single lady with no children or family, anything. So huge impact is possible in any age. That's what I'm talking about 89. We have plenty of people 50s and 60s coming and getting benefited. But what happened is some people, not more, a lot of people, when they reach a certain threshold or I'm much better, then they don't want to go improve further. But interestingly, when you see, I have people, our common friend, he's coming for the last 23 years, at the age of 65 to 87 now. That Italian gentleman, now 87 is better than 65. And 65, when he came, we have the file, he has 25 different, not diseases, issues, including balance issue to neck issue to back issue to joint to swelling to so many things and other diseases also. But that 25 things are not there today after when he's 87. But every year religiously they come and spend time and do the treatment, and each year, beyond 3 years, we see that things will be established and we can stabilize it. Then it's only further improvement. So a lot of cases like major condition like fibromyalgia, de-addiction. In de-addiction, our treatments are very, very effective. When people tried everything else around the world, came over, spent time, we could improve them or change them, completely come out of addiction issue with the many complex things from South America, go to forest and smoke something nobody knows what it is and got into 2 weeks of unconscious stage and all that. We detoxified and corrected them. Liver cirrhosis, usually Western medicine, there's no treatment or nothing can be done. Yes, we have done many cases of that very effectively with a combination of Ayurveda, Naturopathy, Homoeopathic methodology with a proper medical intervention or a medical measurement of their liver enzymes or other issues, different parameters. And fibrosal lungs, this is a New York lady. The best doctors said that she will survive only for 2 years. I said, we cannot cure you, but we can maintain you. She came regularly and then 8 or 9 years she survived very well, good life, going around the world and all that. Then she passed away. So in a lot of cases, we can improve and maintain the life if we cannot cure the diseases. So I'll give you some of simple tips after listening to me. These are all the day-to-day life we can do. Simple things like turmeric. Now all over the world, India's export of turmeric gone to 800% more. And all over the world is eating. Because we are eating in our curries and everything, we think that that's enough. But an extra 1 spoon with a little bit of honey or mixed with milk, or milk is appropriate for you. And like that in a day-to-day life, make a big impact on your immune system, make impact on your intestine. It is all very preventive and scientifically proved that turmeric has a huge impact on inflammation, huge impact on your immune system. And during the COVID time, everybody started to eat turmeric. Japan is importing turmeric from India. Americans have turmeric capsule. So if you use it in your curries and all that, very good. Addition to that, if you do a simple with honey, or if honey is you are not diabetic or something, otherwise mixed with water you can do. It is some of the traditional the curries make in different parts of India has turmeric in it, not only normal curry, other things, buttermilk with the turmeric. So many areas we traditionally use this. And tulsi, again, we use it as a spiritual practices and everything, but in a day-to-day life, we can use tulsi as an immune booster. It is one of the most powerful immune booster. Again, lime is the best detoxifying element. Lime, fresh lime in the morning with a little bit of hot water. It's very cleansing for the liver. A lot of people with the liver issues, lime water, and multiple times a day also you can drink it. It's very powerful antioxidant as well as cleansing for the liver and your even not only liver, your joints, your entire system. And omega-3 is known around the world. People take capsules, but it's better if you can take it through your food. Omega-3 is a very effective things. I mentioned about the turmeric powder. It's try to get organic, because sometimes you eat turmeric but it has more chemicals, then you are welcoming cancer rather than getting benefit for your immune system. So Try to get it. Nowadays, everywhere is available, organic turmeric, because turmeric is a root. So if you pour chemical in it, because we grow turmeric, it will grow very fast and everything. We are not doing, others are doing. But then the chemicals are so powerful, it gets into the root. So you cannot wash and remove it. Some spray, we can wash it and remove the outer layer, we can help. But turmeric, it will suck into the system. Then that powder you are taking, you are welcoming diseases in you. So be careful with that type of ingredient. And tulsi and omega, we mentioned about that. And the lemon, mint. Mint is another very powerful thing. We use a lot in our cooking and our use. Even just nowadays is very popular. Fresh mint tea is very easy to make. It's very easy to grow anywhere in your backyard or anywhere. And fresh mint is another powerful element in antiviral, antibacterial. Even you just wash your mouth with mint water, hot water. That's very powerful thing for the mouth and your intestine. You can take it in. So mint is another one I recommend a lot of everybody to use. So there are hundreds of other herbs, but these are the things daily life you can do it. So time limitation, I won't talk too much about anything else about SOUKYA. I just run through it. SOUKYA is first of this kind with all the different systems of medicine under one roof in a 30-acre organic farm, and people come to for either medical conditions. 70% of the people are coming there for medical issues, where there are serious medical conditions from around the world. We have now 126 nationalities coming to us, and about 30% people coming for, we have all the eco-friendly practices from solar to organic farming to rainwater harvesting, vermicompost, so many things, because it's a model for health and healing. Then we have a 30% people come for either stress management or weight management, rejuvenation, anti-aging, all that, but 70% people come for medical issues which they tried everything else around the world, or say may have a early stages they would like to see that so intervention. But we are together with the Western medicine. Anybody required Western medical intervention, investigation, everything, we get it done. Or somebody's taking different Western medical medicine, they continue, and in consultation with the Western medical doctors only we will reduce the medication, or their doctor only reduce, because we are referred by a lot of senior doctors from parts of India and abroad. So we have to go, and that's what we believe. The Western, most modern Western medicine and traditional medicine should work together. That is the best healthcare model. That's the best model with the lifestyle changes and eating habits and environmental correction. All this goes together for health. Not simply spending billions of dollars on big hospitals is not going to give you health. That's why the American model, present the American Health Secretary Kennedy is looking at that model, where, because America cannot afford, UK cannot afford have more and more hospitals and investigations and treatment where it's not reaching anywhere. But you have to focus on a disease-oriented to a health-oriented approach. So India is pioneer in that. We have all the blessed with all the systems of medicine. Present government is supporting a lot, and we have to show to the world that way. I'm very proud. One thing is, to being in India, having established SOUKYA in Bangalore last 23 years, this many countries, patients, serious patients, bedridden patients are coming and get benefited not by me, by India's ancient knowledge and India's ancient living heritage, which we do properly. That's the issue again in India. What is the percentage of such Ayush people are doing properly, doing correct, doing the best way possible? A lot of gimmicks are going on like everywhere else. So if you do that, a huge opportunity for India to help the Indians and the rest of the world. So I would like to give some time for question and answer, so I don't want to keep on talking. So any questions? Please. Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you for that talk, firstly. So thank you. My question was that I started my Ayurvedic journey around 7-8 years ago, and I had a crisis, landed up there again, as you said, no other option, hated it, and I was like, I'm never coming back, what a mistake. And I met a gentleman who told me that, believe me, you'll be back. And I was like, what rubbish. Anyway, since then, he'd been coming for 10 years and I've been going now every year. So my yearly calendar is planned around my Jan Ayurvedic. I go to Vedyagram.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to ask you was that sometimes you just feel like, are you on the right track? So what you just said, that I think if we're doing this every year, is it actually benefiting us? Sometimes you do feel doubt. And two, when you are doing your Panchakarma, you are in a cocoon in terms of food, in terms of processes, in terms of everything, and then you come back into the big bad world. So how do you actually balance out, because you can't keep the pace that you do when you are doing your Panchakarma. So how do you sort of balance it out in terms of everything that you face in your life, make the changes that you need to, and yet respect the journey that you've been through during your Panchakarma so you can keep healing?
Yes. Definitely you get, if you in case if you went for a medical condition, whatever it is, that may take a couple of years to settle down. In between there can be crisis. Then if you are with the good doctors, they will help you in that process, because you educate you and make you understand that this is the process you are going through. Once that major situation is over, then you continue this for maintaining your system in the best way possible. That you go for a regimented program for 3 weeks, whatever. Then you don't need to do that everything. You take some element of your diet and other things to incorporate. For example, if I say that orange juice is not good for you, that does mean that you should never touch orange juice. The regular basis drinking too much orange juice is a problem. Like that, sometimes people get into too religious about this. Oh, I cannot touch this, I cannot, no. So day-to-day basis, how much you can balance and manage. And natural human nature is, even unless you love the diet, you may slip. Today's world is easy to slip. And biggest advice I am telling you, all of you, is never go for this process. Nowadays, most of the food, especially you are eating out from outside and getting ordered and everything, is all rubbish food. That is the biggest disease forming thing. The food is a major factor. Where you can make the arrangements that today it is available. 20-25 years ago, even we had to grow everything to do organic food. Today, Whitefield, 5 kilometers away, have 7 shops selling organic vegetables and everything. If it is real organic, stick on to that. That cost is very limited when you look at your total cost of your food. Trying to be organic by internal and drinking fluid and eating or drinking fruits and everything, which is, I would say, organic. And that regimen is not that difficult. And apply medicated oil. I do that once in 2 weeks by myself, means I can do it. You do yourself, it's easy, it is good for your system. And your system will grow better and better every year. That's my experience. So it is good to invest at 3 weeks, maintain that. Even if your disease is over, fine, but your health will be improved and your long term, that's we prove by scientific studies also that your aging is not about age, it is about quality of your function of your system. It will be very good even if you are 95. Why not?
So you mean it's getting stronger?
Stronger and better. Especially when you get to a certain age, only some things you'll be able to measure, like hearing or smelling. We have people gain that back in their 80s, which they lost in 60s. So that type of amazing thing happened because you are making the function better and maintain that. So I recommend that above 50 is, presently earlier I used to say above 60. Above 50 is the time to start to doing that without any symptom. But if you have some of the other symptoms, do it on a regular basis, and it's the best investment for your time wise, money wise, is the best investment. Continue that.
That's encouraging. Thank you.
Oh.
Namaskar, Dr. Mathai, seeing you after a long time. It was really a joy for me to have attended your inaugural at the SOUKYA as your personal guest. And I can tell all of you that what Dr. Mathai has shared with us is worth going over to his place. My only question is that you say that people come there once a year for their, yes, no doubt. But as you also said, Ayurveda is more about Dincharya and Ritucharya. So it's integrating into our everyday lifestyle. Would that still need me to, having corrected myself, my lifestyle, with your guidance, would I still need to keep on going there for this therapies, or I can manage on myself?
Okay. Yes, you can manage yourself if you maintain, even if you do one time, then after that you do your Dinacharya and reasonably well. You don't need to be religious about it, but reasonably well. And you do your yoga, pranayama, nose washing, eye washing. All this take maybe half an hour or 1 hour time of day-to-day life, and eating sensibly and consciously and all that. That will maintain you very well. The advantage is in extra detoxification strengthening. After certain age we need, as you know, degeneration is taking over regeneration. So can we maintain the regeneration to regeneration rather than overtaken by regeneration? So that this specific treatment help a lot. That's what I notice now running SOUKYA and treating people up to 94-year-old. It is helping them to maintain very well. And I have many people done only once or twice, and after 10 years they are coming back. But those who come regularly have a very high level of performance in every aspect. So it is good to do that if possible. Otherwise, once in a while, or otherwise do once and then correct it. And even you correct it, that's a very good way your system will perform. And as long as they do certain amount of, and I have seen people did nothing after that also doing very well. So it is difficult for me to say which is the right path. But the best, what is the best you can do in a given circumstances, that is the best option. I have today at the moment I have somebody from Russia staying with me. In the middle of war he came all the way, and he said that 2-3 visits before, he said each time it is helping my business. He said middle of war I can perform better because of your treatment is make my sanity to my brain. Last day I said, oh, that's something good that I should start a war treatment. I will get a lot of clients for that. So it benefit a lot, no doubt about it. Somebody who is not.
Good evening, sir. Thank you for your talk, sir. While you were speaking, I noticed that you had given us a lot of examples about how doctors kind of focus on the disease and focus on the disease model rather than your holistic development and holistic well-being model. So what do you think is the gap, sir, in our doctors, that they're not being taught to look at the patient as a person and rather look at them as, okay, this disease is there, let's give you this prescription, let's go. For example, when we go to the hospital also, it's very common.
Yes.
They don't have the time to sit and get to know us. They prefer to just, okay, ye kaam hai, ye kar lo, ye medicine le lo.
Yes.
It's like this. What do you think is the gap, sir, and how can we kind of train them to do that?
One is the lack of time for a good doctors, lack of time, and they're trained to spend very little time. And 5 minutes, 7 minutes is the time average a doctor spend with the doctor, unless you are a specialist or something, you need to spend more time. Second is entire present medical model, not only in the Western medicine, in Ayurveda systems also, is a disease-oriented model. So you look at the disease and identify the disease and treat that disease. So the entire mindset, even Ayush systems like Ayurveda, Homoeopathy, all that, supposed to be a human-oriented and person-oriented. Without that, that system is not complete even by giving a medicine. But the doctors tend to train in a Western way or Western thinking that, oh, arthritis, this medicine, this medicine. So that is second. Third is lack of time they are spending. So what we need is the health-oriented doctors dealing with people's health. They are different from the disease doctor. We need disease doctors. But we need a more and more health-oriented doctors. Look at your life, look at your eating, look at all the aspects. That means they need training. So present medical model is not trained like that. So the Western medicine for us MBBS, even in Ayurveda, because of Ayurveda you're studying, you understand certain amount of diet and everything, Naturopathy also. Otherwise, the Western medical model, even there is not even 10 hours training on nutrition. You know how important nutrition is. So the entire training model itself is in a wrong way. I hope things are changing, especially in India, to develop that. Now the UK, I attended the conference where 2,700 people attended. And the entire idea, even Dean Ornish was there, our common friend, and he proved how to, by lifestyle, by diet changes and yoga, you can reverse a cardiac block into his books. Now he's working on dementia. Amazing. So such people teaching population what to do, and also our patients also, they give everything doctor to give a prescription, that's the end of it. No, you have to do everything. You should change your life. You should change your eating habit. You should do yoga. Doctor cannot sit and do it. So that education is also needed. Now, social prescribing is a big thing now in UK and other places. Whether it's a counseling to helping to talking to everything, doctors may not have that time for it. And a doctor's expertise doesn't need the change in somebody's diet or emotions or anything. Others can do it. So a combination of health consultants, health advisors and health promoters with the medical doctors dealing with the medical this. But I would say that more and more health doctors is needed along with the disease doctors. Thank you. And somebody. Please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mathai. It was really fantastic to hear all of your thoughts. My work focuses on well-being and holistic counseling for youth. And one of the big imbalances that I see with young people is this phone addiction. And even in this audience, we're so fortunate to have a short amount of time with you, and yet so many are really addicted to phones. What is your guidance on how to find balance with these phones that are sort of ubiquitous worldwide, and how addictive they are and how they severely have a negative impact on well-being?
Definitely there's a huge negative impact on well-being and their social interactions and even relationship with the parents. Several of my patient parents say that they won't even talk to us. Even dining table they are doing this. And room, they lock the room, and then it's not really affluent groups. I know. So very simple people, they're crying and telling that, no, my daughter never talked to me because she's full-time with my friends, her friends and her people. That's like she's 15. So I sent her to one of our doctors to sit and talk to her and understand what's going on and then slowly advise. At the same time, I have somebody staying with us, 4 children at the age of 10 to 14. With no television, no phone, nothing. They are so super happy in SOUKYA, exploring the animals and this and that, everything. I felt that that's a parenting issue also. I am not blaming the parents. So early stage itself we give orientation because doctors cannot do, teachers cannot do. Outside world is fully that way of culture at the moment. Only making them understand slowly and the impact of that, health impact and the psychological impact, all these things today. Yeah, parents has to early age itself, not when they are in trouble, and slowly. Otherwise, it's a social situation now. It is in some cases it's impossible because if you tell your children or any children, they'll argue with you. Everybody's doing that. Why can't I do it? And everybody's doing everything going on like this. But huge impact on the entire psychological and health. And their functionalities like exercise is not there. They're not playing anymore. They're playing only on the phones, and there's so much of bad things happening. So I hope there will be some, like the bad eating habits, the bad performance and behavioral things have its own huge impact. Just I mentioned about this junk food culture. It is huge cost. Everybody is going to pay, not by diseases, by the psychological impact. I'll just share with you one point which I learned with the Blue, Mr. Then he did the Blue Zone. They are looking after the cities in America to improve their health. Because a lot of people talk about 10,000 feet and all that. 10,000 feet is fantastic. But if somebody walking 7,000 to 8,000, this is a research study, 7 to 8,000, you improve 1,000. Your health span will improve 3 years. Okay, but then human beings do beyond 14,000, will go down. So overdoing exercise like walking, sometimes is a damaging effect. It's a scientific study. So we are sharing that one. Even simple thing like restaurants, they made a change in some of the cities and they are paid for it. The restaurants are not putting the bread on the table. If you say bread, you'll eat. So they consciously decided to give direction to the restaurant side, don't put the bread. If people ask for the bread, give it but charge them. So people won't buy it. If they really want, they buy it. 99% of the people stop eating bread. has a huge impact on diabetes. In the restaurants I'm talking about. So like that, small changes doing in life enhancement in a day-to-day lifetime, not only restaurant, home or anywhere, it may a huge impact. It is the Dinacharya we're talking about, the daily routine, what you do, what you eat, what you drink, what you think, what you say, what you perform, all that make huge impact on a long-term health. It's not the treatment. My entire message is not to go for treatment every year or then. That's the last thing. To make changes in your life on a daily basis, small changes make a huge impact in your long-term health. Please, you are waiting for a long time.
Thank you, Dr. Mathai, for that exhaustive talk. As you were speaking about the doctor not having enough time really to go into whatever your problem or problems may be, I was just wondering, is there any relationship between Ayurveda and homeopathic, for instance? Is there anything that and Tibetan medicine, for instance? Is this something that you may have thought about or studied?
I studied even Chinese medicine. All this systems of medicine, Chinese medicine, Indian, Ayurveda, Homeopathy, it all has a one common thing. They all believe in a holistic approach. They all came from different places of the planet, but they're all one common thing. And they all believe in the mind-body-spirit connection. The methodology of treatment by doing medicine, internal medicine, herbal medicine, it's all entirely very different. There are some connection between Tibetan medicine and Ayurveda, some aspects, some common things, or even South Indian Siddha medicine is very close to Ayurveda, but it still is different, the methodology and application and everything. But the commonality is a holism, the holistic understanding about the person, and all of them believe in the mind-body-spirit connection. All of them believe in the changes in the diet and your life and your environment, your emotions, your feelings, everything has impact on your health and well-being. So that is a common factor, which presently the Western medicine started to understand that, accept it. Step by step. It took a long time even to accept nutrition, even to accept mind-body connection. But that is now more and more evident and more acceptable, more and more is a universal language now. And I have seen that big change in last 30 years, huge change. The best Western medical doctors say that is all nonsense, is now completely for this other element other than medicine, because medicine cannot be only what you take, a chemically oriented thing. Medicine can be like the Ayurvedic way of medicine should be the food and food should be the medicine. So that way to change. But at the same time, the advancement of Western medicine and the benefits of that with surgical procedures to modern medicines and scientific research, everything unbelievable last 40, 50 years. But the misuse of that is the problem. Whether it's antibiotics, whether it's steroids, whether it's a new weight reduction medicine, the misuse is the problem. If you use it properly, it's all amazing gift for the humanity. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. I am Arvind Kumar. I'm just asking you, food is very important for health. How do you think non-vegetarian food? Many people are in this country are non-vegetarian, and particularly some people say I don't take onion also and the garlic also, but it has some medicinal value. How do you look at this? Please explain.
I will go with more of a traditional approach on that. In some particular religion, Jains, they won't use onions and garlic and all that. That's a traditional approach, and there is a reason, religious or other reasons for it, and their tradition benefited from that. And if people ask me which is better, non-vegetarian or vegetarian, I said definitely vegetarian is better. But he said that, oh, should I stop everything? I said no. If you are a non-vegetarian, you need to be a better non-vegetarian. Okay, 30 years time in Kerala where I grown up, a chicken will come only once a week or once a month. Now 3 times a day chicken, that's also wrong chicken. The broiler chicken with antibiotics, everything fried in deep oil, and then you eat cancer, everything you are welcoming all the time. So that's the wrong non-vegetarian. The same time vegetarian, is eating all the vegetables full of pesticides and chemicals, then that's also equal to cancer. So what we try to do is, coming for a healing time, is vegetarian diet because it's lighter for the system and all that. But we convert them into better non-vegetarians, into a better non-vegetarians by reducing their intake of red meat and all that, and have a healthy eating habits, change all that. And the vegetarians into a healthy, because a lot of vegetarians doing too much oil and fried and soaked in oil and decayed food they are eating. So decayed food is meat is more worse than vegetable, but both are decayed. So educate them, which is more important. How much you can eat fresh food. And the invention of fridge is we misuse it. Fridge is a very good thing, but Wesley Johnson have to keep all the old food and he keep on eating. So even we give advice on that also. We sometimes give advice to rich families, their cooks, how to cook it, because their philosophy is going to the people and they are getting all the diseases because the cook is putting all oil, all this, everything. So change that. Taste itself will take few days or a few weeks, but that is possible. So we never try to convert anybody to anything or the other, but make them a better eating habits in every aspect. And every culture has a better eating habits. Sometimes you won't give attention to it. So give attention to it and do that, then that's good enough, fair enough. One more person to ask.
Sir, my question is very simple. How can I know my dosha?
You have to meet with a good Ayurveda doctor. Spend some time. If you're doing just only a pulse, that's another thing. Just take a pulse and do it down. That's one methodology. A good doctor can look at you and tell you, but that's not enough. I do that all the time, but I won't tell people. I'll do my diagnosis in the airports and everything. That person is this constitution. Even sometimes now it's so good that 40 years I'm doing. I sit recently with the Frankfurt airport, and one husband and wife is coming. I told my wife, she's going to behave like this. She said, no, don't joke. Exactly, she behaved like this. So, she said, it's not reading the mind, it's a pattern. You see the nature. When you see the nature, so many conditions, so many occasions, I can do it like a magic. I don't want to be a magician or a guru. I decided not to be a guru 40 years ago. Otherwise, I could have been better than most of the gurus in town now. The reason is, when you know constitution, you know how they even think. So you can say that. So in 40 years, you've seen so many patients, you can easily diagnose the person and say the nature, say the way they behave, everything better than even husband and wife. They know each other better than that a doctor can say. Then they say, how do you know all this? So recently an Arabic person, husband and wife, is sitting in front of me. And she won't talk much. She's Arabic and very shy and then putting. So I said, she behaved like this. So husband is looking at me like, you're a magician or something. So I said, when children come back from school, it's a little late, she will make a call to the driver and ask him where they are, because she's anxious about the safety of the children. That is her nature. When I am saying that, he is shocked. But he was so shocked with the second one. I said, when you are late from your office, she will ask, where did you go? Because she has a doubt, that constant doubt that you have an extramarital relationship. So she's trying to find out that. So I keep on asking questions because she has a doubt. So I guarantee that is my biggest prescription that day for the lady, that I guarantee that this man is not going to go anywhere. His nature is not like that. So that has made her peaceful. That, doctor said that he's not like that. I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know that. But anyway, so the thing is, you can easily, so what you need is to meet a good Ayurveda doctor, spend quality time, explain everything, then he can easily understand you and he can predict you also. Not only about your emotional, mental state, your possibility of your health issues. And that is also connected with your heritage or your genetical code also. It's all connected. Doshas only, but you cannot take Vata Pitta and predict everything. You have to go through a little bit more detail. That's the right thing to do. Yes, you want to do a magical impact, you can just take the pulse and then say things and people think, oh God, this man has psychic power, he's very... No, you don't need to fool anybody. You can do proper way of explaining and educating the person. Thank you.
Dr. Mathai, there's a question from one of our online participants. Dr. Mathai, thank you for the talk. On a lighter note, what are some daily prescriptions you write for yourself and which one is the hardest for you to follow?
No, I follow because over a period of time I make my habit. As much as possible, wherever I travel, anywhere, I do my meditation, I do my yoga or the walking, whatever the number of days, and having your morning, drink your buttermilk with a little bit of jackfruit powder. So you make a thing, only when you travel you cannot do everything, but you can do most of it. So you make it as a habit. And if you go to a restaurant with the best food also, you limit what you eat. I call it as a conscious eating and conscious behavior. And if you have that conscious for you, you can easily divide your time and create that time for it. A lot of people, they don't do it because they don't want to do it. If they want to do it, we are not telling that you should do 5 hours of this, 3 hours. No, if you devote 1 hour for you, that will make a big difference, and small changes in your diet. And you'll be happy about that. A lot of people, they're unhappy and do it, it won't survive. If you're happy, they will do it and they enjoy and they'll give a benefit. It's any diet, even if somebody says, I hate Japanese food, it take 3 weeks to correct that. So 3 weeks is enough. So if you consciously do that with a happy way, but if you're unhappy, it's impossible to correct somebody. So it's like that, do that as a sadhana. In Indian tradition, that's all very important. The last question is,
Sir, I'm K.K. Roy Chaudhary. What is your experience under your treatment practices, recovery, success story of Parkinson's disease people?
Early stages of Parkinson's, as soon as you get, even before even diagnosis, if you get, we can maintain them forever. Early stage. Okay, when they start the tremor or even that stage. Even next phase also, where diagnosed as a Parkinson's, if you start the treatment, they have to do it every year. Every year if they do treatment, they can maintain forever. Unless some other issues come up or something like that. So Parkinson's is a very good condition, the early stage usually. But once something developed in 4, 5 years, 8 years, they cannot even get away. Even multiple sclerosis, which is non-curable with the Western medicine, is impossible to do anything. If you take them before getting into the wheelchair, if you start the treatment, they will improve and they can maintain. I have patients maintain for 20 plus years. So it is all lot of conditions like that possible. Much more complex neurological diseases we treated. Yes, but we are very clear about what we can do. We do what is right for the patient, number one. And number two is don't overpromise and little underpromise and try to do your best. Then you'll always get a better results. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Arun, for this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, I've been getting messages. I know that the phone message was there, but I had to keep looking at my phone because I was getting messages from various parts, because they have been watching the request for your recorded speech is available. It'll be on the CEP and the Ritinjali website, so you can download and look at it and hear it, because there were so many gems in it that it was impossible to kind of digest everything together. But we are breaking now. We're going to go out. So just before we finish off, I want to acknowledge and thank Sham Saran, who's the president of IIC, for giving us and collaborating with us on this evening, packed 6:30 to 8 o'clock. At that time, 8 o'clock we stopped, which was beautifully done. And Shri K.N. Srivastava, who's the director of the India, and both of them were very enthusiastic and very happy to collaborate with the Center for the Escalation of Peace and Ritinjali to host and do this. And of course, there's Shubhra Tandon, who is the senior programmer in the office of the India International Center, who really, and Thupten from our organization, who work together to make this whole thing happen. And in person, my colleagues who are here, Karishma, Poojan, Ritika, Saroj, Shoman, Kriti and Thupten, they all made this whole thing happen, sending out emails. And my second chance school boys, we have Arjun and Nitin, who was sitting at the desk outside and helping us get all of you in. and the Second Chance School has also benefited a lot from what you're saying. And Sangeeta, Choki, Archana and Sunena have been online monitoring everything that's happened. So saying thank you to all of them is most important, but more importantly, I have to say thank you to you, and maybe have a nice... And I see in the crowd the principal of my college. I went there as a student much before the present principal was born, but I must but I'm very happy to see you here, sir, and lots of friends from various parts. So we will now proceed outside to have a cup of tea, and I think we will allow Dr. Mathai to have one cup of tea before we surround him with questions. Thank you all for coming, and a nice big round of applause for all of you.